we're in enemy territory. I have been having people come yell at me, scream at me, yell profanities. It's funny, they'll yell profanities at you, and then they'll say, welcome to Philly, and they're the nicest people in the world. So I don't know exactly what to think about all this. Game 3 of the World Series, the first time the Fall Classic has been back in the desert in 20 years, and the anticipation building and building, much like all the folks on this light rail. People are ready to rock and roll.
For those of you that actually like football, I understand you may think it's a bit of a gimmick, but it is kind of cool to see Trevor Lawrence with flames coming out of his feet as they're running around. And how demoralizing is this? You get a penalty, Slinky, back it up, 10 the other way.
The expectations really are today to even things out. I mean, yesterday went just like we thought it would. Low scoring on the North course and harder scoring on the South course.
All right, wait. This was the moment I officially hit the nervous stage. I mean, look how high we are.
Quite surreal that we have finally made it. You know, the weeks leading up to this, it's nonstop parties, in press conferences, in storylines, and yet now it is finally just about football.
All right, can someone help me understand something? Typically when rankings come out, records are taken into play, strength of schedule as well. Definitely head-to-head matchups are considered, right? So today when the AP college basketball rankings came out, I found myself scratching my head. The Aztecs are now 11-2. Gonzaga 9-4. I'm no math major, but that favors San Diego State.
Standing on the dirt right now here at Citi Field as the anticipation builds big time for Game 1 of this series between our San Diego Padres and the Mets. The epicenter and the focus of the world is on Phoenix right now for this trophy right here. You feel like you should be in a museum talking quiet because that's it right here, the Lombardi Trophy.
At least they scored points in that game, because I'm going to show you a game right now that had a grand total of 3 points, folks.
Oh, good grief.
Vikings, Raiders. Remember, the Vikings are trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Entered this game 6-6 on the year. There it is, the entire scoring summary. A field goal late in the fourth. Vikings win this game 3-0. The Padres have gone 3-0 against the Rockies. They've brought in the best closer in all of baseball in Josh Hader, a slugging first baseman in Josh Bell, and a great utility player in Brandon Drury. Oh, and by the way, some guy named Juan Soto.
The history of the Super Bowl here in Arizona has been a very rich one. Starting back in 1996, that was at Sun Devil Stadium. The Cowboys won that Super Bowl. By the way, so calm down on the trash talk, Cowboy fans. You haven't won anything since I was 2 years old. Let me just get that out there for the way. And then in 2008, the Giants beat the Patriots, ending their perfect season. Remember that? David Tyree catch, the helmet catch. And then in 2015, Malcolm Butler with a pick on the 1-yard line of Russell Wilson to make these Super Bowls have iconic moments here.
I watched a guy run out there on the field with the most guaranteed money in NFL history. But what makes it so tough is this. When the Browns gave up pretty much everything to get this guy in their organization, 5 picks including 3 first-round picks, their owner, Jimmy Haslam, said he believes in second chances. I believe in second chances too. Who doesn't, right? We've all made mistakes. I've made plenty of them. I'm sure you at home have made mistakes, and we're appreciative of getting second chances. Deshaun Watson had about 24 second chances.
Winning one is hard.
Yes.
Winning back-to-back, nearly impossible. The first time it's been done since 03-04, the Kansas City Chiefs, now the back-to-back champions. The reason it's nearly impossible, you got a target on your back all year long. You got a target on your back through the playoffs. And this team exudes confidence. That's all they've done throughout this whole tournament. We've talked about it. After the Alabama game, there wasn't some huge party because they thought they were going to beat Alabama. After they made the Final Four, yeah, the emotions came out, but then we talked to the guys today, and it was back to business as usual.
It's not the Yankees and the Dodgers in the World Series. In fact, I can say with confidence, TV executives would have much rather had the Phillies in the Astros. A World Series between 2 wild card teams in which neither had more than 90 wins wasn't exactly sexy on paper. This was an absolute circus tonight, and I'm not just talking about in the stands. On the field, too, we had 11 homers, 30 hits in 27 total runs. Unlike anything I have ever seen in a baseball game before, and unlike anything the players have ever seen in a baseball game before. Juan, what was tonight like for you guys in this team?
I mean, amazing.
And of course, no Devin Booker, no Bradley Beal tonight for the Suns. We've yet to see the big three on the floor together, but hopefully it's that team defense that does help shut down Wembanyama tonight. When a team like this goes on a run, us in the media, you at home, the fans, you got to take a part of Sliver with you as they go along the way, as they bring you into their journey, and that's what I love so much about this run. This was one of the more embarrassing games I have watched in a long time. This was a team that came in clearly defeated and left looking flat out incompetent. This was an absolute masterclass in minimal effort as we all watched the Mario coins get blasted out of the bolts in an epic and laughable collapse of a football game. This looked closer to an Ohio State-Akron pay-to-play matchup than a historic AFC West rivalry. A week ago, the Raiders lost a game 3-0. Tonight, they scored 42 points in the first half. In fact, Las Vegas rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell had more touchdowns in 2 quarters than the Chargers offense scored in their last 3 games. So buckle up and someone cue up the clown music. What a monumental day, really, for San Diego and its sports market. We were in there earlier today, and this building was buzzing with excitement that MLS is truly coming here. The announcement was officially made. Now, we pretty much all already knew that it was going to happen. Let's be real right now. You can't talk about Kansas City without somebody bringing up Taylor Swift. It's nearly nauseating. And I am sure every football fan is just tired of hearing about Kelsey and Swift. It is all anyone is talking about. I mean, for God's sakes, we got to play a game, right? Everyone from social media to the NFL itself is just Taylor this, Kelsey that, yada, yada, yada. So I want to reassure you, I would never pick that low-hanging fruit. I am a journalist of the highest integrity. And look, I think of football first. Always. End of story. That being said, if someone is just going to flat out ask Travis Kelce about it, my hands are just tied. Anthony Lynn, Mike McCoy, Brandon Staley, all 3 of those guys were first-time head coaches in the National Football League. Jim Harbaugh, quite the opposite. A proven winner everywhere he has gone, from the University of San Diego to Stanford. He went 44-19-1 with the San Francisco 49ers and brought them to a Super Bowl. And of course, last year led the Wolverines to the mountaintop, the pinnacle of college football. Doesn't get any better than fall football and wherever we're going with this, right, Jesse? That part. It is a tall task awaiting our San Diego State Aztecs tomorrow. SDSU heads up to Corvallis for their first road test of the season, and it ain't an easy one. The Aztecs will face number 16 Oregon State. Kind of devastation, right? I mean, you really thought this team had a chance to move on and move further, especially when you found out it was going to be a 5-6 matchup and they had home field advantage. This team had just done so much, really a storybook season for the Padres. They beat the Mets in New York. They take down the Dragon up north with the 111-win Dodgers. I did not see this coming, where they would lose 3 straight here in Philadelphia. Here it is this morning, the College Football Playoff Committee saying these are the 4 most deserving teams to play in this year's playoff. Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama, they're in. You notice anybody missing? Yeah, the undefeated ACC champion Florida State Seminoles did not make the top 4 after struggling to score for what has felt like the better part of 3 weeks. The Padres put up 14 runs in their past 2 victories. And I know what you're yelling at me through the TV right now. Jake, 2 games ain't going to fix anything. Whether you like it or not, you better get used to seeing this for the next decade or so. As for Padre fans, now may be a good time to shield those eyes. Today, Shohei Ohtani put on his new threads as the Japanese superstar was introduced to the media at Dodger Stadium. And I know it's Monday, but how great does this sound? I can officially say it's game week for the San Diego Padres. I mean, that's just got a sweet ring to it. Game week. The Padres will begin Cactus League play this Thursday against the Dodgers in Peoria.
I don't even know what was wrong with it. I couldn't even pinpoint it.
To say that Luke Pete is a Padres fan
You could try to blame Hosmer, but you can only blame that guy so much.
would be a big
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
understatement.
But I still love him. And I always will. And I'll always go, because I'm a sucker. Because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Incredibly, the area Luke calls his clubhouse isn't even the centerpiece of his Friar fandom.
This is where I find a little bit of peace and comfort and solace, and I watch a lot of Padre games in here, so maybe it's not so much peaceful sometimes.
But peace doesn't always come easy to Pete, who's a retired hospital corpsman and served our country for 14 years in the Navy.
Those 3 o'clock in the morning, nightmares. Heading out there. Heading out there because I know. Sorry.
Out there is Luke's backyard, better known as Pete's Park, in the epicenter of his Padres pride. It's also the place Luke finds tranquility.
So because of that field, the ultimate goal was not only just to enjoy it and have, our family time with it, but was to, if I do this right, if I do this with all the passion that I could ever muster, that we could use that field for good.
And that's exactly what he's done, using a game made for kids to help the kids who may need it the most.
So we'll hold tournaments here and, raise money for charities. And December 18th it's going to be a glorious day. So there'll be 8 teams, an 8-team single elimination tournament.
The proceeds from Pete's wiffle ball tournament will go to Camp Kesem. And between this year and last year, they've raised around $8,000.
It's a free summer camp and year-round support system for kids whose parents have been affected by cancer. It's the single most important thing I've ever done, and I care about it more than anything. I absolutely love this organization.
They've also recruited the help of a local sportscaster.
Walk me through that at-bat. What was going through your head,
Wasn't a long at bat. I stepped up to the dish, first pitch, whack. Offered at it, home run. So I'm sitting pretty. I'm batting 1,000, hitting a home run right at Pete's Park.
Padres broadcaster Mark Grant and many of the Friar faithful lend their time, money, and love to Pete's Park in order to help others.
I'm just so proud of living in this community for over 30 years and being a part of it, and to see the people that get involved year in and year out. It's amazing how once you do something, first of all, how good you feel doing it, but the impact it makes on others.
On the surface, it may look like a bunch of grown men and women playing a children's game, but look a little closer and you'll see the innocence of youth, so seldom found in adults, coming together to help make San Diego a better place.
We all have some deep love of San Diego on some level, and San Diego Padres are what has brought us together. But I think the support you see from Friar Faithful has way less to do with baseball than it does the San Diego community, and the Padres just happen to be the proxy to bring us together.
They even got a washed-up local sports anchor out of his office and around the bases.
Well, Jake, you know what happens if you come to Pete's Park and you do a story about Pete's Park and want to experience that kind of stuff. There's only really one thing to do after that, and that's kind of go out and play, right? Let's do it. All right!
I'm Jake Garegnani, News 8.